So let's talk about Naturium.
Yeah.
So obviously, the brand was founded a little bit before you, but you are one
Yes.
of the founders, right? And I think it
Yes.
really took off when you got involved.
Yeah.
And that was around 2020, which
That was 2020.
obviously had some things going on in 2020.
Oh yeah, you think there was a lot going on in everybody's life in 2020? Yeah.
So the talk about what made you decide to get involved with the brand, what some of the challenges were as we went through COVID, and then how what it was like to work with Target,
All
all
the
those
things.
kinds of
Let's
things.
see.
So
How much time do we
COVID,
have? How
brand
much time
launch,
do we have?
all of
No, okay. So like, so what a lot of people don't realize in 2019, I had already started working on a brand. It was not Naturium. I was working on an entirely different brand. I was trying to bootstrap it and really like just go slow with it and get a feel of it and just go right. Fast forward like 6 months later, and we are in like February of 2020, and one email from a manufacturer just like shut the whole thing down. They were like, there's this weird virus happening. They were in Korea. Weird virus happening. Don't know if you've like seen the news, but we're going to pivot to hand sanitizer. And if you want to launch your brand with hand sanitizer, we can do that. But the formulas we've been working on with you, got to scrap it for now. And it was this realization, right? Like I already kind of knew in my gut that I had like taken on trying to like bootstrap a business, a brand, a beauty brand, especially on my own, was like pretty tough. Like that is a hard thing to do, but it really just solidified in my mind. Like I was in over my head. Right. And so when I got that email, I had already been so deep in this that I was like, I have to keep going. Right. So I started reaching out to everybody that I knew in the industry to try to find help, to find a new manufacturer, everything. And at the time I'd received some PR from Ben's team for Naturium, and I was obsessed. I thought this is going to be the best thing for the industry because, like people, the brands had already, and I give them lots of credit for this, brands had already come out and to like democratize skincare and stuff and show that it can be a little bit more affordable. It doesn't have to be so expensive. But those aren't necessarily like the best formulations, right? Like there's something in the middle. And I really felt like Naturium kind of nailed it with the formulation being beautiful and elegant. Packaging looked nice. There was innovation in these formulas. It was all great, and it was for very aggressive prices, right? Like $20, everything under $25 for these beautiful formulas. What is it that they're doing? And Ben, who is my business partner on this, who was the original founder of the brand, I was like, I need to talk to him. I followed his career for years. He's done so much. People have zero idea who the people behind beauty brands are. And he is one of those people who is like an OG. He has been in the industry forever. He has made some of the biggest brands, him and his team, that have ever existed. He is like, it is him and his team who have been behind this, right? So Naturium was like his new baby, and they were just kind of testing the market and everything. So I reached out to him and I was like, I want to discuss this. I ran into these issues. I told him everything. And then because I just love to give unsolicited advice, I started to tell him what I thought about Naturium, right? Like, so I started telling him like, we need to do it, like these free from, claims and this stuff. And like, I really think you need to narrow it to this. And like Naturium just has so much, I was pumped about Naturium. And if you ask anybody, like if I find brands that I'm really into, products that I'm really into, I am all for promoting that and sharing that, because I really do think that like, besides friendly competition, I really think there is space for everybody out there. And honestly, the best man always wins, right? Like it's really not that kind of a competition. I think friendly competition is great. I love friendly competition. But in the end, like we are our own businesses, we are doing our own thing. Like I think we can share information and be happy for each other, right? So I was really pumped about Naturium. And I was trying to get Ben to help me, like work with me on my brand. I have this great idea, very similar actually. I feel like this is the right price point. I know exactly what my followers want. I have years and years of data that brands could only wish for, right? Like I think this is something that influencers don't really understand that they have. They have access to so much data, like if you use affiliate links, like I've gotten teased before about affiliate links because I'll put like an affiliate link on something that's like, it costs like $2 for this. And they're like, you're really trying to claim the affiliate link on that. And it has nothing to do with the money. It really doesn't. You don't always make that much money on affiliate links. It's more about knowing the data, right? And data is so important because it tells you so much about what your followers are interested in, right? So Yeah.
Super
And so I've
interesting.
got
Yeah.
years.
Not because I was thinking first about
Yeah.
market trends. It's like, no, 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 no. It's about my
My
community. What does my
community. Yeah.
community
I
care
know
about?
my
Right. Like,
community very
yeah.
deeply. I interact with them. I see what they're clicking on. I see what they're buying, all of it. Right. And I have this for almost 9 years at this point. Right. And so,
Yeah.
I was like talking to him about all of this, and we kept having these conversations, and we laughed because this is only something that would have happened during the pandemic. It would have taken us years to built this relationship and decided to become business partners. But because we were in lockdown and there wasn't a lot to do, we got into these deep conversations about brands. And we had this realization that like we really had very similar visions in a lot of ways. And, one day he tells
Mm-hmm.
me, he goes, you know, I've been thinking about this, and why would we work on separate brands when we could work on one brand? He's like, you love Naturium. You have helped shape Naturium to this point. He's like, the
Yeah.
brand is only a few months old. Why wouldn't you want to just join us for Naturium? And I was like, interesting. And so and again, I think at the time, had I not been just so quickly shut down trying to bootstrap this myself, right, I might have been like too headstrong and been like, no, I want to do this on my own, I don't trust investors. Right. And
Yeah.
then at the
Yeah.
time, we built this like strong, it was almost like we were online dating. It's crazy. It's like strong relationship within like 2 months. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do it. Let's kill it together, right? So, we went into, it took a little while. It took like a few months of going back and forth with our attorneys and everything to like really work out the details of the ownership and everything. But, it got solidified in June of 2020, which was super exciting. And I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you, I want the editors to like put the Beyonce, that "Let Me Upgrade You" song, like, baby, like, partner, let me upgrade you. Like it was night and day between what I could do on my own versus what I could do with an
Yeah.
experienced, amazing team, right? Like the team at the
Yeah.
incubator I
Yeah.
joined, they have so much collective experience in the beauty industry. When we got all our minds together, it was like magic. Like I don't think that this will ever happen again. Like it was like just amazing how we could work together. It was like Ben felt like my fairy godmother suddenly. It was like I suddenly had this beautiful brand that had already like had a lot of the framework put into place. And he was essentially telling me like, do you give it the vision, like go for it. Right.
Yeah.
So it was amazing. And like to go from like trying to beg contract manufacturers to work with me, to like suddenly like the biggest manufacturers. Like I see like some of the biggest brands, some of the ones that you even like mentioned probably that we've like surpassed on the list, going down the line next to my brand. Right. And it's like so surreal to be like, I went from like,
Crazy.
begging to have someone make my products to like now that's like they want to make my products, they can't wait, right? Like, and it was like such a huge upgrade, it really was. And I realized like this is what I needed. I needed this kind of experience and this kind of team to help me bring the vision to life. And that's honestly what Naturium is. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen that really consistently across brands. Like you saw it with Rare Beauty as well. Like their founding
Mm-hmm.
team is the same founding team at NYX. And like, yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
definitely working with Selena and she's a big part of the brand. But having that team on the back end to kind of take it to the next level is so impactful, right? On the operations
Yep.
side. And I was talking to your new CEO, who was the old
Yep.
COO at Tatcha, and his name's
Yep.
escaping me
And
right
at
now.
Fresh,
And at Fresh.
Francois.
Yeah,
Francois.
Francois.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a resume like an amazing
Unbelievable.
resume. I mean, he
Unbelievable
was at
resume.
Fresh, at LVMH. Yeah, he's done a lot in the beauty space.
So he was claiming that you guys are growing faster than Tatcha ever grew too. So can you give like high level, just so people have a idea of scale, like how fast is the business growing and like where is it doing well? And talk to me about that a little bit.
I mean, I guess like to not get into too many numbers, I saw there is a number floating out there, that last year we hit $50 million in retail sales,
Yeah.
and that is true. And we're going to be bigger this year, right?
Yeah.
But like the place, I mean, we're doing well. It's almost like a 50-50 split. Like it's like it's a little bit more e-com because we
Yeah.
also have Amazon, right? So it's like e-com and Amazon are our two biggest drivers, and then we have Target, and we're working on distribution. We have small distribution in Australia. We're working on massive distribution about to happen in like Europe,
Nice.
and UK and Canada and stuff. So we're working on all of this, and I maintain it's like everyone has had supply chain issues, right?
Yeah.
But having a team who understands this stuff, who are experienced and been in this industry forever, we were able to kind of foresee what was about to happen, right? Forecasting is a big part of brand success. I think for a lot of influencers, they think that like going out of stock is like a big marketing move. I think it's terrible,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I think you should be saying things differently. If you don't have products in stock, you are not selling your products, right? You are not giving people the products they need. And I really believe this is the way I think about content, and this is the way I think about brand building, especially for skincare. You are not supposed to focus on a viral product or a viral video. You're supposed to think long term, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Building that slow cadence. When it comes to skincare, if you don't have your products in stock, then people don't get to be consistent with their skincare routine. And consistency is key all around, right? If you want to have perfect skin that you love, and you want to see some of your skin issues go away, you have to consistently use your products. If a product goes viral and it disappears and they can't have access to it, then we've done a bad job of forecasting, and those people aren't going to be able to stick with your skincare products, and they're not going to see that change happen. So I really think that's a huge part of our success.
Yeah, forecasting in the digital age does not sound fun because
It's not,
it's
because
like
you don't know
so.
if an influencer is going to be like, this is it, and then you're like, oh gosh, we weren't planning for this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
exciting, don't get
yeah.
me wrong, exciting. Everyone loves to sell out of something, but in the time of now where it's supply chain, there are always supply chain issues. It is very hard to deal with out of stock issues.